As I forgot, I didn't even know I was talking to myself for the last 5 minutes. Like, it's so stupid. I was like talking to myself. Holy shit. Um, um, Sorry, as you guys probably could tell, my phone died, and I probably should have listened to you guys a lot earlier. But I forgot what I was talking about. What was I talking about? I don't remember. If you guys could just fill me in on that, I completely forgot. What was I talking about? I love you too. What accent? Oh yeah, height. Oh yeah, fucking A. It's probably the worst topic to kind of like stop in the middle of. So yeah, a lot of people perceive me as someone that's very tall, which I'm not. I'm not that big, and honestly, I don't think why that should even matter. But I don't know. 177, I think that's pretty standard for an Asian dude, right? Like, I'm not like small, so it's okay. But yeah, a lot of people, even when they meet me, they just kind of assume that I'm big. Which kind of is weird. Skincare routine. My skin's actually not that. Yeah, 177 is. No, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the new generations, they're a lot taller. I mean, but I think that's evolution, isn't it? But it's a decent height. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah. I love you too. A lot of people ask skincare routine. I don't think I have good skin. I don't have. There's a lot of people that have. I know, like, there's a lot of people that have really good skin. I don't think I'm in that category of having good skin. For me, it's yeah. I don't think I've good skin. Maybe because I like to, I guess, play in the sun a lot. So and that's not always good. I never wear sunscreen. And to be fair, I think, yeah, as you get older, your I guess your skin also tends to slow down in repairing and everything, so it does really take an effect. How have you been? I've been good. I've been pretty occupied. I've been busy, and as always, so I don't really come on. I don't come on social media too often. So when I do, I feel like I should devote a lot of time to interacting with you guys, and because I don't know when I don't know when the next time I'm going to be on is. So I feel like since I'm here, might as well kind of go full out, try to answer as many things as I can, and do you watch The Lion King? I grew up watching The Lion King. I think everyone could relate, but I think everyone's biggest or first heartbreak was when Mufasa died. And as a kid, watching that, it really, really does. It's traumatizing. Holy shit! Like, it was probably one of the most saddest things you could ever see as a kid. Do you watch? I can't see. I don't know what that says. Anime eyes? What does that mean? Anime eyes? What is it? Anime or anime? I don't know. Anime eyes. I don't. Sorry, I don't think I've seen Anime Eyes. If that's a show. Do you collect LPs? I used to, not anymore. Agreed. Same with some Bambi. Yes, when the mother dies. Holy shit. Anime. Well, anime. Well, you know, like I biggest problem. You know, I'm still confused. I love you 3 million. Does that say 3 billion? It certainly doesn't say 3,000. Have you used film cameras? No, I haven't. I love the look of a film camera, which is why I love imitating the image, but I've never actually like processed it and, you know, took it out and done it all myself. But I would love to if I got the chance, because I love the look of a film camera. Maybe a 35, I don't know. Big love from Belgium. Big love to you guys, to Belgium as well. I don't think I've ever been to Belgium, but I really want to. So you don't watch anime, sorry. I do. I guess I watch everything that everyone else does. Claymore was one of my favorite anime. Claymore is good. Berserk, that was a classic that I really liked. Are you working on anything? Have I ever not worked on something? It's kind of sad, but yeah, I'm always working on something. 수능, 네? 수능 보시는 분 있나요? 만약에 수능을 보시는 분들 있으면 힘내요. 진짜 수능이 그 당시에는 진짜 전부라고 생각할 수도 있는데 나중에 알게 될 거예요. 진짜 아니라는 거. 네. Tour 2021 could be very possible. What it do? I don't know. What does that mean? What it do? I can't sleep. I can't sleep as well. Favorite, what is that? Sorry, it goes so fast, I just can't seem to see it. I recommend Boku no something. Is that Boku no Hero, like the No Hero Academia thing? I watched that. Yeah. All Might. I know All Might. I like All Might. Yeah, that's good. That's all I remember. Have you heard the 1975? Yes, of course. One of my favorite genres do happen to be rock. If anything, my favorite genre, anything related to rock, I grew up listening to, so it has been a huge part of my life, if not one of the most influential things in my life. What's something that makes you happy? I don't know. I mean, it's something that I ask myself a lot. And honestly, I feel like it's very subjective, obviously, because, you know, happiness, everyone is happy by something. It's kind of weird. It might sound weird, but I try to look to just everyday things, like the smallest things. You know, like people are happy, like, you know, when you're at the end of the day, when you're in bed and you watch your favorite YouTube videos, or, you know, that's kind of happiness, isn't it? It's something that's so hard to label. You know, I think it's extremely hard if you have that label, like something makes you happy. The reason why I think that's like a problem too is because the minute you tell yourself that, for example, like doing this makes me happy, and if you're sad, you're going to go straight to the reason of, because I'm not doing this, I'm not happy. When in actual fact, happiness is a burst of, it's an emotion. It's something that you can feel anytime you truly want, given your circumstance. But it's not like a it's not like a very high achievable thing if you really think so. But the minute you label something, I feel like, what makes you sad, what makes you happy, what makes you angry, and the minute you put that into a box, you've already set yourself up for it, ironically, and it's very contradicting. But if you think about it, it's like that. If you think ice cream makes you happy, but you're in a place where you can't get ice cream, then you're ultimately gonna, it's like a placebo effect. You're going to be sad because you think you don't have ice cream. And because of that mindset, it's going to further, I guess, enhance the idea that you're not happy. But you can be, and everyone is capable of being happy as well. And it's something that you can immediately do. And I think happiness comes from things that you don't have to think about, I know I'm going very deep with this again, sorry, but it's something that I've always thought about. It could be small, like my dog makes me happy, and my family, my friends, these little things. But, in the case of, if the thing that makes you happy is something that, I don't know, in somebody's case, it might be something that's very far-fetched and very out of reach, or it's something that you can't have access to anymore, then I feel like that could become very, I guess, unhealthy for you at the same time. And it's funny because you're talking about happiness, but it could be actually one of the most saddest things at the same time. And that brings me to this thought I've had, this idea, where I believe you should never ever truly think you know somebody, and hence you should never really truly think you know yourself. Because the minute like, no matter how long or how much you think you know somebody, you don't. But the minute you think, and you've already, for example, if I have a friend that I've been friends for with 10 years, immediately you think you know a lot about him and everything. That's great. But the minute you decide that you know everything about this person, and that's what people tend to do, is you immediately put them in a box as well, and you don't know what someone's thinking. And the minute this person acts out differently from what you kind of perceive or what you've always thought it as, you will immediately think they changed, but in actual fact it's not that. So, given that idea, you should never think you know yourself, because the minute you think you know yourself, then that immediately means you know what makes you happy, you know what makes you sad, you know what makes you angry, and therefore you're going to resent to a lot of the things that I guess further enhance that. But if you do that, you're ultimately putting yourself in a box, and you're already setting boundaries. It's kind of like telling somebody, like, this type of person is bad, and therefore this type of person you're gonna disagree with, and because of that you're gonna resent this type of person, and you're gonna end up having a very violent conflict. It's an already premeditated seed that's planted into somebody's head. And that's honestly how racism starts, and that's honestly how a lot of the things happen, because because of that idea that someone or something gives you, and before you give it even a chance, you're already resenting. You already have a lot of resentment for it. When in actual fact, it could lead to something very big and very beautiful, and it's something that you should never judge. But because of a lot of the fears and a lot of those already premeditated judgments that a lot of people have, not just on other people but on themselves, it stops you from doing anything. It stops you from chasing your dreams. It stops you from meeting people. It stops you from dating. It stops you from going anywhere. And granted, everyone's experience is their own, and it should be respectable. You should never compare your experiences to anybody. Like occasionally you have people that you have those people where you like, let's say your dog died, but then all you're really trying to do is find comfort in sharing that, I guess, sadness. But then you're always gonna have that someone come along and say, yeah, I remember when my cat died, and that's just it, really. It's innating some experience in its own. I think everyone's experience is their own. You should never compare it to somebody, no matter how hard or how deep or how painful it must be for the other. It's essentially, if you're hurt, you're hurt. It's exactly that. And I feel like everyone has a standing chance, which again brings me to, I feel like we stop listening. People have a hard time listening. I think the hardest thing anyone can do is listen to somebody. And as sad as that is, it's the truth. Because we don't listen. We like talking. We like the idea that we're in power. So most of the times, if you think about it, if you're ever in a conversation with somebody, you might listen for a bit, but what's going inside your mind actually is what you're already planning what you're going to say next, and you're just you're eager, you're kind of almost too enthusiastic to kind of say what you have to say. And because you have this thought of what you're going to say next that's already in your head, you don't really tend to listen to what this person says. You kind of just wait until they finish for you to say something. And that says a lot about where we go as a nation, or just humanity. And it's probably one of the most, ironically, easiest things you can do, but it's actually the hardest thing anyone can do. Because honestly, all people really want is someone to listen. You're not trying to get a solution. If someone comes to you and tells you they're hurt, they're sad, or they're depressed, it's not for you to come up with a solution and tell them how they should live it and how they should do it and what they're doing wrong. It's never that. If you think about it, it's just for someone to listen. That's it. So I think we should listen. Next time, I don't know, you're talking to your friend, your family, or whoever it is, if you have like this urge to say something because they're not finishing, you should just stop and really just kind of take in what they're saying. Because honestly, most of the times, it's because people don't listen that people end up doing a lot of bad things and end up in bad places. you know. And I feel like, yeah, we've come so far as a species that it's everything that's kind of in front of us, social media, easy accessibility to a lot of things, has made people so comfortable, so judgmental, that I guess, we forgot how it really feels like to miss somebody or feel something. And what I mean by that is, if you think about this, you know, if you miss someone now, you can easily FaceTime them, or you can easily message them, and you can easily call them. But back then, right, like for example, like back in the early 1900s or whenever, when there was no phone, there was no message, like there was no means of communication, whether it be like your grandparents or something, if, let's say, the wife was at home, or the dad was away, and two lovers couldn't see each other for the whole day, the meaning of like "I miss you" would have had so much more emotions behind it. It would have held so much more meaning to it. Thus, when you do miss someone back then, it really means you miss someone. Right now, it's kind of, it's like you can easily access anything. It's just almost like in front of you. And I feel like we're becoming so numb to what we really are. Like, we're animals at the end of the day, and we have natural animal instincts, which is to feel, and we have a lot of senses. But because everything's so in front of us, and the minute we're born into this society, I feel like we're already taught what is good, what is bad, what is wrong. And it's so subjective, because you can be born in a different country, and what is good for them is bad for somewhere else. So of course there's always going to be indifferences, and I feel like because of that, it's becoming more scary. I'm sure you guys know too, but this world is becoming really scary, and I feel like we do need more people being a little bit more, being listeners, because nothing bad ever came from listening to somebody. A lot of bad came from talking over somebody because you weren't listening. Think about that, Do you know what a simp is? That went from like this to this very fast. I've seen it around. A simp is it someone that I only know the term where someone simps over somebody, and I don't really know what that means. I don't have like a very clear definition, but I just heard a lot of it. I heard that phrase of someone simping over somebody. Does that mean someone obsesses over somebody or something? I don't know. Ian, throw it back in Maria. Is someone who respects women, basically, and people take it something that's... Simp is a what, sorry? Simp is someone that respects women? Is that what it is? Well, I'm sorry, I if that's what it means, I've got the definition completely wrong. I have no idea. I just see it sometimes, occasionally, when someone like says it, or someone has it said, so I just kind of automatically thought it was that. But if that's what it means, then by all means, more power to that, you know. Petition for making a podcast. I don't know if I'll be good at podcasts. I feel like after a while, people will just get bored of what I say. Someone who tries too hard to impress a girl. Wait, so that's what a simp means? Well, I'm so confused. So it doesn't mean it means someone that's trying too hard to impress a girl. Yeah, I have no idea, guys. Like, you're just confusing. It's confusing me. I'm very bad with like slangs and all that kind of thing. I'm sure you guys know by now. You will be an amazing podcast. Thank you, Dylan. I love you. Okay, I mean, by all means, if your name is Dylan, then absolutely. It's interesting listening to your podcast. I mean, if you take it as such, then thank you. I mean, you good? I'm good. I've never been not good. Even if I'm not good, I have to try to be good. Yeah. I mean, it's okay not to be okay, though. So. I can't sleep to your voice. I hope that's a good. I hope that's a good. Like, can't sleep to your voice. Not a bad. I mean, I will get it if it's annoying. I love you so much. Thank you. Now I know. What's the podcast? I don't know. Do you watch? I don't know what that is. What's your take on the meaning of life? My take on it is, I think that question is, I feel like there should be no question of the meaning of life. What are you really trying to find an answer to, right? It's just, like, that's something that's so broad and so unknown, and I feel like it's something not for us to really understand. You can be curious, but life still goes on. You're still here, and I'm talking to you guys, and we're just making the most of it. Really, it's just kind of living it, I guess. Where are you? I'm at the studio. Yeah. I love you too. You're gonna make what? I want your voice. Say something. Any advice for what to study in college? My advice is, if it's I can't really say, because for me, I never really took the system of school and getting schooled and the whole college, and I feel like school is a good way to socialize. It's something that you have as a social skill. But if you're trying to, I guess if you're trying to do something academic, if you're trying to be a lawyer, or if you're trying to become a doctor, then by all means, it might be helpful, because I don't know. I can't really say for that part. But for me, all I know was school has taught me how to socialize and understand people a lot better. But as far as what I got from it and what I'm applying, I guess that's life, isn't it? I would never have expected me doing what I'm doing when I was in high school, or when I was in college, which is why I only went to first year of uni, and I dropped out. I escaped to do what I really wanted to do, which didn't require a degree. So that's one thing. Bye. Someone. What subject do you like the most? If you're talking about in terms of school, I loved math. I know it's kind of geeky, but math was one of the subjects I was very good at. Why? Because there was always a right answer. It was always the right answer, and I loved the idea of that. Because for me, I'm a person where I'm all over the place. I often have a very hard time deciding. I'm very indecisive, which is why maybe because of that, I tended to like things that had a more definitive answer. And even till this day, I'm very indecisive because my mind is all over the place. But thankfully, I have something that I can express that with, So I think that's something that's, I guess, in the books. You really are a Virgo. A lot of people say that to me, and maybe there's some truth in that because, if you look at the star signs and the descriptions, it's so weird how accurate some of that shit is. I mean, there must have been somebody that dedicated their lives. I mean, obviously, there has to be a reason why there are star signs. It can't just mean like complete shit. It has to be a reason why there even is a whole star sign, like, I guess, system, because there is some truth to it. I mean, someone probably dedicated their lives to just studying that. So obviously there must be some truth to it. So I am completely always open for that idea. And most of the times, if you see it, it's very true and it's very uncanny. And what your parents think about music, me doing music. My mom was very supportive. I was very lucky for my mom to be very supportive. If anything, my number one supporter and my number one inspiration is actually my mom. My mom taught me not to give up. Ever since I was a kid, she taught me very subconsciously that there's always a way if I willed it. There's always a way. And the only reason why I never saw a way is because I gave up on seeing it. But if you truly willed it, then there is always a way. And she taught me that ever since I was a kid. So I was very fortunate enough to have the mindset that I do now because of my mom. And I don't know if she was aware at the time that she was doing that, but it would come down to the most simplest things. Like, I remember I didn't do my homework when I was in elementary school. And I was gassed out because this type of, the homework that I had to do it would have taken me a week. And I was so bummed out because it was my fault that I didn't do it. And my mom found out. And the next day I had to present it. And I was scared because I gave up. And, I was ready to go in just with my head down. But my mom stood me up. Not stood me up, sorry. She didn't make me sleep. And she said, if you don't want to go in there with your head hung in shame, you can make a difference even now. So it's like, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to sacrifice something for that? And she's like, trust me. And this is when I was in elementary school, and I didn't know shit, but I just did it, and I didn't sleep as a kid, but I finished it. I don't know how I finished it, and I presented it, and all the teachers, and I remember that moment, but kids and teachers were very taken back by my presentation. And I think after that moment, I realized you literally get what you give, energy-wise, and that doesn't discriminate. That's something that never discriminates. So just believe in yourself. I think that was a motto my mom told me. It's just be yourself. But most importantly, always think that there's a way for everything. And I think after that point, I started tackling everything like that, you know. So I mean, that was a key thing for me, you know. So I was fortunate enough to, I guess, have lived that, you know. But anyway. My mom is also my biggest inspiration. I'm very, very happy to hear that, you know. As I think a lot of parents should be a role model. You know, I know there are cases where that's not the case, which is sad. But again, I think if you ever become a parent, you know, whoever's watching this, if you are a parent, and or if you ever are going to become a parent, I think the one thing you should really idolize mentally or morally is you should really, really let your kid know that, yeah, this world is full of shit. However, it's your job to overcome certain things, certain obstacles. But I think it's a parent's job to let the kid know that they're strong enough to do so. You know, because it's the truth. You know, I think everyone. Again, it's just I always say this, but everyone is capable. You just gotta let everyone know that. It's just so weird, but you have to. I know I shouldn't. I know I'm not a parent myself, so I really shouldn't. I don't have any place to talk on that. But it's just something that I always thought. If I was ever gonna become a dad or to my kids, that's the one thing I want to make sure everyone, like my kids, understand is it's okay to be weak. It's okay to have problems. It's okay to be scared. But at the end of the day, you're strong enough to overcome that. It's the truth, you know. A podcast. Isn't podcast like things where you just listen to, like you don't really see it visually too? Anyway, it's a pretty long talk. Like I think I've been on for more than an hour, so kind of like I don't know if I overextended my invitation. But any thoughts on manifesting? I mean, I base I guess, whatever I do, my stating, and that is, it's kind of like this. It's like, I mean, a lot of people say this is how the universe works, but if you want something so bad, like it can be anything. People do it subconsciously. For example, like has there ever been like a bag or an object, or let's say like you've always wanted to go to an event, or you've always wanted to see something, or you've always wanted like a certain shoe or something. You manifest that into your mind, and before you know it, you have it. Like I'm sure there's times where you want something so bad that before you know it, it ends up in front of you. And if it doesn't end up in front of you, it's obviously because you didn't want it to that extent. But what that means is, this is what people do. They're seeing opportunities for anything you want. Then technically, because you start seeing things that you don't see in regards to whatever it is that you want. Like if you've always wanted to become, I don't know, if you've always wanted to go to an event, for example, then that's always going to be inside your head, and therefore you're going to start seeing things that are related to that, whereas usually you wouldn't. So I mean, that's how it kind of works. Like you find opportunities to get that. And the scary thing about that is, literally, if you know how to use that, then you know how to abuse it. And if you know how to abuse it, you literally can get anything you want, sensibly, if you know what I mean. Because that is humankind's power. Yeah. What if you manifest seeing me? Then you will see me. I'm not even joking. It's wait, as long as it's not like as long as it's not like in a way where you stalk me. But regardless, even if you did stalk me, and even if you did find a very creepy way to make that come true, it still will come true, if you get my point. Like, it still would happen, so I mean, that says a lot. Can you say hi, Karen? Hello, Karen. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, people that know how to use this to their advantage is, obviously, it's, you can use it for good, and I wouldn't not want to imagine what people would do if they used it for something bad. But technically, it is a skill set too. It is something that, if you practice long enough, that you do become very good at as well. DPR in Brazil. Hi, Layla, I think that is. Hi, Layla. Say hi, CeeLo. I think I'm sorry, I'm reading it sideways, so it's kind of hard for me to do. Hi, yeah. Can you say Manusa Silva? I don't know. Sorry if I butchered it. Can we change your appearance with manifestation? Absolutely. That's one thing that people do every time. I think, if anything, that's probably something that people don't really subconsciously know. But where does a certain ideal look for yourself come from? It's from manifesting that image in your head. For example, like, I've always wanted a certain look. Like, I've always wanted to be built. Actually, very commonly to one's self, one's image. Can go for what type of hairstyle I want, what kind of dye I want. It's because you saw something that inspired you, and in turn you manifested that onto yourself, and before you know it, you're gonna do things that will try to get you similar to that picture inside your head. Hi, Laura. Any songs you like? I haven't been listening to a lot of songs recently. That's kind of sad. What's your dream at the moment? I don't know, really. I don't think. For me, it's always up in the air. It changes every single day. To be more vague, I just want to reach a lot of people in the things that I express. And if I can in turn influence somebody to do whatever it is that they love, because it's through what they saw through me, then I think I've done my job. Yeah. You're super smexy. I haven't heard smexy in a while. Smexy, what is that? That's smart and sexy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is the definition of smexy. I hope it's not small and sexy, because that just would be kind of weird. Technically, that could make sense a little, but I know. Hi, Malaysia. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. It's not Malaysia. It's Michaela. Sorry. My bad. Well, I'm shout out to Malaysia as well, but hi, Michaela. Do you want to hear a joke? Yeah, I love jokes. I have a very dry sense of humor. Well, I think it's funny, but a lot of people think it's not. So, hi, Nana. I want to visit Istanbul. Yeah. Or a muscly legend. I am a muscly legend. I'm not a skinny legend. Well, have you been to Singapore? Yeah, a few times actually. Singapore is really nice. It's very humid, but very nice. Hi, I'm Gabby. I had a friend called Gabby back at school. Do you come to Mexico? I would love to go to Mexico. South America is also, one of my favorite places to go to. Love from New Zealand, absolutely. Yeah. I've never been to New Zealand. It's kind of crazy. Like, I'm from Australia, but I've always wanted to go to New Zealand as well. Come to England, absolutely. I would love to go. I love to travel in general, but right now, obviously, it's kind of hard to do that. I'm trying to manifest moving out of a toxic environment. I believe you should hold on to that, and you should really, really do so then. Because it really does start from that. And if you're in a toxic environment, then by all means, should quickly get out of it. Just like a toxic, you should assert yourself out. Any new tattoos? That's a secret for now. You love my accent. I don't really have an accent anymore. Absolutely. Do you? No, I don't. I love you too. Have you been in another country aside from Bolivia? I think I've been everywhere. Not everywhere technically, but I've been to, especially when I went world tour, I've been to a lot of countries. And I can tell you every country is worthwhile visiting and experiencing. Yo, dog, can you see us? I can see you. What's a V card? What is up, Vema? Oh my god. Vema is in the house, everyone. For you guys that don't know Vema, he's a very special friend to me. I miss him dearly. And how are you, man? I know it's been so long. It's crazy because I feel like we've always been in such a chaotic moment, and it's so hard to even interact, even with my friend Vema, So absolutely, man. I hope everything is good for you. I'm absolutely is if you're gonna support someone, it definitely has to be someone like Veima. Very, very talented, very skilled, and the future for him, yeah, man, holds a lot. Yeah. So I mean, in the future, if you do see something that me and him are gonna do something together. So yeah, I mean, I haven't forgotten about that. I've been doing well. Try going blonde. I don't think that's a good idea. I've tried, and I don't. I think I've tried once in my life, and I don't know. It really didn't suit me. So Christians say, I'm sexy. You're sexy. Love you too, bro. Can't wait for us to reconnect again. You know, once all this shenanigans is over. It will fuck my hair up. My hair is very weak as well, so can you say hi? When is the last time you got drunk? It's pretty recent. I don't like drinking, but I do drink whenever I want to take a break from things. I don't resort to alcohol to get away, but I enjoy good company, and usually in Korea, good company means you have to drink. But I mean, you know, I don't need alcohol in my life. It's something that I can live absolutely without. Do I use drugs? Absolutely not. I don't know what kind of drugs you could use in Korea. That's just, I know, like in the States and everywhere, like weed and everything is very legal, and it's like you have prescriptions for it, and it is a medicinal use. But not in Korea, not in Asia. It's something that's banned completely. It's almost taboo to even speak about it. But obviously it's not the case, Like, even when I was growing up in Australia, I don't think I've ever tried. When kids in high school, like, everyone gets high and all that kind of shit. I don't think I was ever introduced to that side of the world. Yeah, like I think I was like a nerd back in school. Now that I think of it, it might be like kind of weird. I don't know if you guys could see it, but I was like up until year 11, I studied really hard. I don't know for what, but I did. Yeah, and then I fell in love with dancing. And that's where it kind of all just spiraled out of control. Do I see myself as a perfectionist? Absolutely. I think that's a blessing and a curse. A blessing because you will output whatever it is by any means to make it the best possible outcome you can. And therefore you raise the quality or the level of quality or the idea of quality each time. The only problem with that is you don't cut yourself some slack. It's very self-abusive, if you know what I mean, mentally and physically. Because until you get that result, you're never satisfied. And I have a huge problem with that even now. I don't know what satisfaction is, and it has never crossed my mind that I could be satisfied with something. And I think because of that, yes, granted, it makes me grow, but I sometimes wish I didn't care too much about I guess what I have to do, and the level that I have to meet time and time. I have to one up myself every single time. I mean, yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. Have you been to Singapore before? Sorry, yeah, I have. I love Singapore. Sentosa Island, if that was the name. I went there as well. Have you gone to the psychologist? Have you gone to a psychologist? Yeah? Yeah. To be completely transparent, yeah, absolutely. I have gotten therapy. But that's probably, well, that's for another story. For me, I guess, it's just good sometimes to be able to express yourself, but sometimes, I guess doing the things that you do, it just, I don't know, sometimes you get numb to a lot of things, and I guess at that point you just kind of lose hindsight of how to feel. I know it's kind of weird, but it's the truth. And being in I guess a concrete jungle such as Korea, it has its pros and cons. And I grew up in a very, I guess, wild and free and very outdoory type of environment. So I'm not very used to being cut off from a lot of things, which is why I travel, but I can't travel now. But which is why I tend to go to places where it puts me on the spot. If I lose myself there, then I'll probably be lost forever. So I get the thrill in that. It helps me realize why I'm alive, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I sometimes need that from time to time. But do you have any advice to how to stay positive and not give up on yourself? It's hard to stay positive if everything around you is negative. That's what I realized. And it's also hard to stay positive if you're already negative. But what I can say is no one's a failure. You're never a failure. It's something that's something that is completely, if not a very misinformed idea. No one ever is a failure. It's a standard that everyone puts to you, and that's why you're pressured to meet a certain standard. If you don't meet that, you redeem yourself as a failure. But no one ever is a failure, and I feel like people just need to believe that they're very capable of doing anything. Honestly, it's not hard. It is hard. No one said it's going to be easy. However, it is something that you have to put your foot down one day and tell yourself you have to find a different way other than feeling bad about it every single time, because it's not going to help. And if you don't change it, no one will. But you're strong enough to change it. You actually always were. You just need someone to tell you that. So yeah, don't worry. You're not alone. No one is. No one ever is. Why not? Are you secretly a fairy? My identity has been revealed. Just like Santa, my identity has been revealed. No, I mean it will be pleasant to be a fairy, but uh, sadly for this life, I am actually just like you. I'm a human being. However, it would be nice to be a fairy. Um, yeah, specifically because I would love to fly around. Um, are you staying so positive? Absolutely. I feel like, sometimes you don't feel positive, and you can't always feel positive. You can't always feel happy. But I sometimes believe if you build I guess a certain stigma, and you fake it almost, it helps you overcome a lot more than just kind of indulging in that sad and depressed state. I mean, it's a different story if you're really there and you need some help. But I feel like it's sometimes more empowering to tell yourself that you're good. You're good. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the world that have it worse than me, but you're good. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're alive, as long as you're able, then you're good. You have any means to do something about it, then you're good. If you could be a mythical creature, what would you be? A dragon. Yeah, a dragon. A dragon. And it is. Have you tried to play Minecraft? Yes. I actually love Minecraft. I used to play it like long time ago. And obviously it was a joy in breaking your friend's like house that they were building for hours. But I think I stopped playing Minecraft. I like watching it. It's funny. I don't like playing certain games. I like watching other people play it. And I think it's just the satisfaction of having them have to do all the hard things, the work, and you just kind of enjoy it. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Do you like pizza? I love pizza. Pepperoni? Yes. Super Supreme. I love it. I watch Minecraft. I watch Minecraft porn. I mean, that's something a bit different. I I didn't know that even existed. But holy shit. Okay, that's new. I mean, I'm not here to judge you. Oh, yeah, you don't listen. This is Cream, everyone.
Hey. 뭐야? 라이브 하고 있었네.
Yeah, live 하고 있었어요. So as you can tell, everyone is he's going home now. Everyone works I didn't even know he was here, so that kind of apparently not. So I mean, everyone works pretty late up till this time. Yeah. So that was Cream, everyone. So that was DPR Cream. If you don't know, yourself. Very talented. He's a genius. I feel like I have to go now. I've been on for so long, and it was my pleasure to stay on for this long because I haven't updated. I haven't been on for that long, so I feel like this is the least I can do, or the most that I should do, is to at least give you guys an update and let you guys know I'm good, and a lot of exciting things coming. So look out for that. And if you know us, we're full of surprises. But I miss you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And the next time you see me, I'm sure you get a pleasant surprise. But take care, and I hope everyone stays positive, and hope you have a good day, because you will have a good day. Yeah. Smile. I don't know. It's a even if it's hard sometimes, you just have to smile and just hope everything does get better, because it really does. Anyway, I've overstayed my welcome. Have a good night or a good morning or a good afternoon where you guys are at, and I'll see you guys later. And yeah, I love you guys.